Okay,
Yeah, hopefully we have a niche crowd. Yeah, I hope.
we're going live here.
All right, we are on the air. Well, welcome
Are we?
everyone. This is the Wednesday night open mic with the Dallas Songwriters Association. We've got 4 players ready to play some music this evening. I'm Keith Dodson. I'll be the host, and I'll get started with a song called The Front Runner.
Uh-oh, before you get started, you're...
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Yep.
Turn on original sound for musicians.
Okay,
Yes,
how's
for our
it?
faithful listeners, that's what we just
better?
alerted him to. There's a button he needs to push.
That sounds good.
Okay,
Good to
here
go
we
now.
go. That needs to happen automatically somehow, but anyway, here we go. It was early afternoon with a dark and cloudy sky south of Hugo, Oklahoma. In the middle of July, Benny Scott was staring at a red spot on his screen with purple in the center. The sight looked really mean. If he could get there in 2 hours, he might catch an awesome sight of it crossing Lake Eufaula in the early evening light. Perhaps an EF5 tornado reaching to the ground, ripping up the real estate and throwing it all around. He wasn't seeking thrills, he only wanted to make them proud, to be the front runner to those monsters from the clouds, chasing all the storm fronts out on those open plains, hoping the folks in Hugo would recognize his name. The middle child of 3, Benny never seemed to clear the bar he felt his family held up so high and dear. Little brother was an athlete, a high school football star. Big sister was in med school, she was really going far. He thought he was an also-ran man who never won, 'cause Benny never led the pack at anything he'd done. Then one day on the TV screen he saw that fateful show of people running around the country chasing tornadoes. He wasn't seeking thrills, he only wanted to make them proud, to be the front runner to those monsters from the clouds, chasing all the storm fronts out on those open plains, hoping the folks in Hugo would recognize his name. Benny loaded up his gear and he started on his drive. He got there around 4:30, the storm front came at 5. He hoped to take a photograph like no one has before. He barely had his tripod set, the wind began to roar. 30,000 feet of thunderheads were reaching to the sky. Then he saw the funnel from the corner of his eye. He focused on his prey, he never looked around. He didn't see the billboard that was lifted out of the ground. Well, the sight, it was spectacular as it danced about. Then he never saw it, 'cause he was bleeding out. The remnants of that billboard struck him in the head. Benny Scott lay on that Oklahoma prairie dead. Back down south in Hugo, his family and friends had gathered there to mourn the news of Benny's tragic end. Why did he have to run away, chase that old cyclone? Did he not know how precious that his presence was at home? He wasn't seeking thrills, he only wanted to make them proud, to be the front runner to those monsters from the clouds. He didn't know the love he craved was there all of the time. The ones he left behind him were like his own gold mine. Oh, the love he craved was there all of the time. Oh, thank you, thank you. And I see Ace has joined us. I think that gives us a quorum for tonight. So let me go ahead and go over the batting order here. I'm leading off. I've got Barbara going second. I've got Bill going third. I've got Harry going fourth. And we've got Ace going fifth. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and move on to our next one. Ms. Barbara McMillen, thank you.
All right. Thank you. I'm gonna stick to E minor. You were in E minor. But I'm not gonna stick to the Phrygian mode. I'm moving away from that. Just the regular minor mode. Here's a song from the musical that I wrote, Give Me a Break. Almost daylight, turn on the light, and from the 100th time I read your words on a page. Now it seems like years since you've been here, in a car with a beer full of beer, all singing with you. Yesterdays, memories blend through a milky haze. My mind's a craze, my heart's ablaze with thoughts of you, thoughts of you, thoughts of you, thoughts of you. Shut out my thoughts of you. The fall's here and winter's near, but the silk cold grabbed my bones, turned to stone when I last saw your eyes. There's a man in my room with a wooden head, someone to fill my place in the bed. Haven't even heard a word is said, but thoughts of you, thoughts of you, thoughts of you. I can't shut out my thoughts of you. The wind has blown, my hair has grown. I remember the contest to see who's got longest the first. What would we be doing? What would we say? There's a chill in my soul since I lost you that day. My life is gray, I've gone astray with thoughts of you, thoughts of you. Thoughts of you. Can't shut out my thoughts of you. Now it's all been said, my heart has bled. Now I smile for a while as I file away my thoughts of you. shut out my thoughts of you.
Very nice, very nice. Love that one.
It's rich with great lyrics, and I love the chord progression.
Oh,
What
yeah.
a disaster at the beginning, though. I got off to a rough
Don't
start.
you just hate that?
Yeah, but like you said last night, you wrote it, so people, they don't know if maybe that was supposed to be that way.
Right.
I love that line. That's the one thing about being an unknown singer-songwriter. They don't know.
Yeah, they don't. No one knows. No
It
one
was
knows.
an artistic choice. What do you want, man?
That's it. You know, it's
A good reason to keep playing every Wednesday night.
just always
Boy,
announce
practice,
that
practice,
you
practice.
practice microtonal
Yeah.
harmony. And
It's the only practice I get.
well, next on our evening's fare, we have Mr. Bill Martin.
Well, I'm going to do an instrumental. I haven't done it in a while. You guys have heard it. I'm going to be using the amp. For just this one song, and then I'll go back to purely acoustic and unplug my device.
I can't even play harmonics if I keep my fingers still, but moving from harmonic to harmonic is, that's
Well,
just incredible.
We'll start out with this. There's
There's something happening here.
That's it. That's a good place to start.
All right. Fabulous stuff there, Bill. Fabulous
Thanks.
stuff.
That's as old as the hills. I've had that around for a long time. And I even made mistakes today. Since it's just the five of us, I can say that.
All right.
All right.
Well, next in line, we have Mr. Harry Hewlett. Harry, what you got for us this evening?
Well, I don't need no stinking amplifier like that last guy did. I can just do it. I can just do it, you know. I have a question though. You know, the same 4 people or whatever comes to this show every week. And all week long, all I see are things coming through with people that they're going to be here. They're going to be here. You know, they sign up, they see, and they never come. Do we scare them off?
Are there really actually people that are telling us they're planning on coming?
Yeah, they
Wow.
say on that, what do you call that, Barb? That thing that goes out, there's a meetup list or something. We get a lot of responses.
We got a meetup list?
Isn't that what it is, Barb? Meetup?
Oh, you're muted, Barbie.
But we're
We have
missing.
a meetup group, but
didn't know we
I
had a
think
meetup
they
group.
expect to come out to a live thing or something. I don't know.
There's some kind of miscommunication there with those people, but they never show up here. I think maybe they're afraid of Ace. I think he scares them all.
The only thing I see on Meetup are the bluegrass jams. I didn't know
Yeah,
we
I
had
think
a
it's
meetup group.
Ace. I think Ace does it.
Well, it seems to me that if they
Yeah.
were just instructed to
banjo.
show up at least 15 minutes early to make sure they've got their sound right, they would have a really fun time. I'm doing well, not all I can, but every now and then I'll tell people how much fun it is, but I'm saying it to the newsletter.
Do we have the latest link? Because I know we changed link about 6 months ago.
What? To
on the
Meetup?
On Meetup?
Oh,
It's
probably
gotta have
not.
gotta
Oh,
have a link
right.
To Zoom.
No, you're right. They still have Harry's link to Zoom on there. I bet you
Oh,
anything.
so it's Harry's fault.
That's it.
No, it's not Harry's fault.
When in doubt, blame Harry.
It's Michael's fault. He's supposed to manage that meetup group.
No, but
Blame it
there's
on the
something-
president. Everything falls on the president. If it doesn't
Yeah.
get done, it's Michael's fault.
We're missing something. I've also got something new. I used to work at General Dynamics when they were a long time ago, back during the Vietnam War, and they were building the F-111. It was an experimental aircraft. And one thing that I learned right off the bat when I got on the floor there, they said you never put an experimental engine in an experimental designed airframe. You always have a proven engine in an experimental airframe, or you have an experimental engine in a proven airframe. So, and y'all are probably wondering why I brought that up. I have this song. I did it last week, but I've been trying to rewrite the bridge for like 20 years. And finally a bridge popped up in my head. So it's kind of an experimental bridge. And I have never once played the harmonica on this song. I don't know why. I think it'll fit. So I want to have an experimental engine, an experimental harmonica, and an experimental bridge, an experimental song. Okay. So here we go. Well, I don't need to get tanked up.
I hate to do this to you, but it sounds like you've got your original sound for musicians off.
It's an experimental sound too.
Oh, of course.
It's an experimental sound.
What was I thinking?
Thank you. Well, that sure saved us last night, didn't it? I tell you what, Mike Ryan, his sound was perfect on the video when we finished. I don't know if you can go back and listen to it. He sounded good. Okay, here we go. Okay, we eliminated that problem. So here we go again. Well, I don't need to get tanked up to prove that I'm a man. But I got problems. Oh, Hank Williams sure would understand. My woman up and left me, so what am I to do? I'm all choked up, teary-eyed, crying in my old dues. Crying in my old dues, looking like a fool. My love life's over, and I'm cold sober, drinking this near beer brew. Crying in my old dues, I can't believe that it's true. While my heart's breaking, I'm sitting here drinking, crying in my old dues. I wish I'd never seen her. It was happy hour that night. asked her out. She said, "You're too drunk." But boys, she was my type. So I went on the wagon just to show her I could be cool. But when I got all sobered up, she found somebody new. And I'm crying in my old dues, looking like a fool. My love life's over, and I'm cold sober, drinking this new beer brew. Crying in my old dues, I can't believe that it's true. While my heart's breaking, I'm sitting here drinking, crying in my old dues. Everybody's gonna feel real grateful when I get behind the wheel. Well, cause a broken-hearted lover can't kill you, but a drunk as hell driver will. So I'm driving in crying in my old dues, looking like a fool. My love life's over, and I'm cold sober, drinking this new beer brew. Crying in my old dues, I can't believe that it's true. While my heart's breaking, I'm sitting here drinking, crying in my old dues. While my heart's breaking, I'm sitting here drinking this non-alcoholic, comes in a green bottle, semi-nutritional, sort of bitter tasting, costs as much as anything else. Kind of brew. Ooh. All you ladies need a designated driver. I'm drinking no duels.
Awesome, Harry. Awesome.
Now, on that bridge, my first thought, and I think it was a bad thought, but I was going to put mad mothers are going to feel real grateful. But then I got to thinking maybe that wouldn't be nice to put that in there. Mad mothers going to be real grateful when they get behind the wheel. You know, the MADD mad. You know, mothers.
I agree with you. I think that's
And that was always the problem, trying to figure out what to put in there without being offensive. But
Ixnay the adme, if you catch my drift.
yeah, so I put in what I was supposed to. I don't know if I was saying it right. But everybody's going to feel real grateful when I get behind the wheel. A broken-hearted lover can't kill you, but a drunk as hell driver will. Is that too hard?
No, that was a good line, and especially compared with the possible
Compared to the other one, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, that'd be a sensitive spot.
okay, I'm through.
Excellent.
I'm done on that.
Well, Ace, you've joined us. Why don't you say howdy, and we'll be ready to hear something from you.
I'm gonna banjoize tonight, if that's okay with you all. This song, I played this for you before. This is a new song, relatively new song, but I tried this both as sort of a banjo-based and a piano-based, and I sent it out to some of my friends, and they all seem to go with the banjo-bass, except for a couple. So I'm gonna do it the way I originally wrote it. Long ago we parted, I missed the chance to tell you just how much our friendship meant to me. Now so many years along, I'm glad we're back together, so let us sing in happy harmony. Let's sit together and tell our stories about the wonders that we've seen and done, about the failures and all the glories, about the fortunes we have lost and won. So now I can report I've found some fine adventures, and from your smile I gather so have you. So come, let's share a tale that may or may not be true. Let's celebrate the things we still shall do. Let's sit together and tell our stories about the wonders that we've seen and done, about the failures and all the glories, about the glories we have lost and won. Let's spread the stories of our lives before us, like the countless priceless hard-won jewels they are. Let's celebrate our warm embrace of living and the friendships that made us who we are. Let's sit together and tell our stories about the wonders that we've seen and done, about the failures and all the glories, about the fortunes we have lost and won, about the fortunes we have lost and won. Banjo action for you.
Right. Thank you, Ace. And now I'm going to, okay. There we go. I'm going to try a new one. I wrote this one Sunday afternoon. And this was, I'm starting to play with a group that meets quarterly up in Louisville, and they have a quarterly songwriting challenge. And the challenge this quarter is to write something about Cinco de Mayo. And I was racking my brains out trying to come up with a historical drama. Finally gave up. Then I had a smattering of an idea on Sunday, and I'm hoping I remember how the melody goes here. But this is kind of a cross of Tex-Mex, maybe the Texas Tornadoes meets Doug Kershaw. So this is called Cinco de Mayo.
Keith, can you tell us ahead of time, is there a happy ending to it?
There's a disappointing ending.
I knew it.
I'm sorry.
I knew it.
But you'll feel good about it, like all my tragedies.
I thought we'd already discussed this.
All right. Can't wait to hear it.
Anyway, hope I remember how it goes here. Today I dropped off a load of steel in the Gulf Coast town of Mobile. In Morgan City I can pick up a load that I can take back to San Diego, where Maria's waiting for me for a fiesta down by the sea. But then things started to whine after I crossed the Louisiana state line. It's almost Cinco de Mayo, but I'm stuck here on the bayou, 'cause my truck broke down just 5 miles south of Thibodeau. Now it's I need me some money so I can go to see my honey, or she'll spend Cinco de Mayo with some other guy. Oh, that's not funny. I took my rig in for repair. They told me in my despair that they wanted $700 to start, another $1,500 for parts. But I only have $200 on hand. I I gotta come up with another $2,000. Now the banks are closed for the day. I gotta find another way to pay. Oh, it's almost Cinco de Mayo, and I'm stuck here on the bayou, 'cause my truck broke down just south of the town of Tibadillo. Now I need me some money so I can go and see my honey, or she'll spend Cinco de Mayo with some other guy. Oh, that's not funny. Wow, I miss my Maria's embrace and the smile on her beautiful face. We'd share tamales from her abuela that she learned to make in Venezuela. Instead, I sit in a local cafe while I'm eating some cold etouffee, listening to a Cajun radio station. Can't match a Mexican celebration. Now it's Cinco de Mayo, but I'm stuck here on the bayou, 'cause my truck broke down just 5 miles south of Tibadillo, and I don't have enough money, so I can't go and see my honey. She's spending Cinco de Mayo with some other guy. Oh, that's not funny. She's spending Cinco de Mayo with some other guy. Oh, that's not funny. Well, if I could only remember the chord structure, but that was kind of a random change.
So what is it? What does Cinco de Mayo celebrate?
It celebrates, and this caught me after I wrote the song, but it's actually a minor skirmish where the French decided to attack the Republic of Mexico at some town, I don't remember where it was, and the Mexicans prevailed in the battle. The French just said, forget it, we don't care. And it really had no tactical or significance, but somehow people particularly Mexican Americans in California, made it, apparently it's a bigger deal in the United States than it is for Mexico.
So is it fives? It's the 5th of May or
5th
something?
of May, yeah.
5th of May.
May 5th is Cinco de Mayo, which amazingly is the date that this group in Louisville is going to meet. So I guess that's how they came up with the topic for this quarter. So it's really a minor skirmish. The only place in Mexico they even mark it is in the town where the battle happened. But I thought, I mixed in all this stuff about the guy being caught in Cajun country, and then I remember, well, wait a minute, they're French, so maybe there's some, that was totally coincidental, but there is a connection in there. So yeah. The French maybe are finally prevailing.
Call yourself the cheap tacos. If the Cinco de Mayo doesn't work.
All right. Well, and now we come back to Barbe McMillen.
All righty. I'm going to do a song I haven't done in a while. I need to be doing these songs. I can hear the rhythm of bare feet. I can see the dancing fire before me. Colors flashing, dancers passing, lovely dark-eyed women laughing. I can see my vision now complete. Gypsy memory, they linger on, they live on in my soul. Gypsy memories, they won't let me go. Gypsy memories, they linger on, they live on in my soul. Gypsy memories. my mind. Melodies of yesterdays behind me. Promises were never spoken, only words of love were spoken. I can hear them echo in my sleep. Gypsy memories, fortunes unfold in the past that were told. Gypsy memories, they won't let me go. Gypsy memories, they linger on, they live on in my soul. Gypsy memories, they never let go. Gypsy memories, they linger on, they live on in my soul. Gypsy memories, they won't let me go. Gypsy memories, fortunes unfold in the past that were told. Gypsy memories, they never let go.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
All right.
Barb, is it just a coincidence that that picture on the screen behind you is a gypsy?
Oh, I mean that one right there.
But below the guitars, that gal looks like a gypsy. You could
Me?
huh?
Yes.
You could clip that. I mean, you could and make it big, and it'd be a great background for that song.
I don't
I
think
just
it would
thought-
pixel out good enough.
Well, you could say, well, that's artistic. Those
So
Impression. It's impressionist.
So
impressionist.
Keith, that's my Phrygian song. That
Oh, okay.
that chorus is in the Phrygian mode,
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I can see that.
like your tornado song or
Yeah.
tornado.
What is a Phrygian mode?
It's
Based on the third tone.
sounds Spanish. Sounds Spanish. You know, anything that goes down that sounds Spanish. You know what I mean?
Play a Phrygian scale for us.
Or
Just start on the start on the E on a piano and play all the white keys up to E. That's a Phrygian scale.
so that green sleeves is
Green sleeves.
in Phrygian.
Well, next, I don't know what mode he'll be playing in, but next we have Bill Martin.
Major. It's a very simple major scale.
Oh, and what are you playing there?
This is a baritone uke.
Oh, when'd you get that?
Well, I've had it for a long time.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I play it every now and then.
So, just a couple weekends ago when I was down the hill country, a friend of mine had brought a baritone uke that he just bought. And he says, so you tune those to the four strings of the guitar? That's the, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the low E and A are missing, and then it's E, A, D, G, B, E.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see
Cool.
if I'm actually tuned to pitch.
Your dog
Yep,
has
pretty
fleas.
close. My dog has fleas. Yeah, that's a different tuning.
That's the ukulele. It's different.
That's for the soprano
tenor,
and the,
soprano ukulele. Yeah.
concert ukulele.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you just interrupted. Just my whole train of thought has been bamboozled. I have to start from scratch now. How am I going to remember how this is going? Oh my word! No, you didn't mess with me at all. I'm enjoying talking with you guys and just hanging out. Here we go. Oh, what a beautiful, oh, what a wonderful, oh, what a marvelous day. Oh, what a glorious, oh, what a marvelous, oh, what a beautiful day. In my anger I cried out to my Lord, disturbed beyond reason. They steal what they can't afford. Oh, how they vandalize, loot, steal, and proselytize, erasing our history, bearing hypocrisy. Is your God asleep? Is he far away? Is he busy with things to do today? Has he forgotten you? Can he deliver you? Can he reveal what's good and true? Oh, what a wonderful, oh, what a marvelous, oh, what a terrible day. All of the people say, when will it go away? I was never going to pay, I won't stay. I am only here a while, then I will tell you I'll leave here without a tray. Sinewy powers increasingly pull us in. I cannot see them, but I know they're there. Who is going to heed the call? Who is going to rise or fall? I hope to rise in the air. All of this doom and gloom, why don't the people pray? I see above the clouds today. All of this doom and gloom, where is our wedding groom? I see a terrible day. Oh, what a wonderful, oh, what a marvelous, oh, what a beautiful day.
That's real pretty.
Thank you. I love this chord here. Not two chord. Thank you.
That baritone uke has a really nice sound.
It's really so much fun to play, and I always leave it out of the. It doesn't have a case, so it's real easy to go to. When I'm feeling lazy, that's the one I go to, rather than going to the trouble opening up my guitar case.
Yeah.
That's pitiful, isn't it?
It's something you can have sitting beside your easy chair, and you can pick it up whenever you want to.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Well, next we have Mr. Harry. What you got
Mr.
for
Harry,
us now?
I don't know. My daddy made his living working the land, raised up land, cotton in Texas sand. But every time he got it growing out of the ground, a hailstorm would come and try to knock it back down. I remember him pacing that kitchen floor, looking out that old back door, cussing those hailstones coming down. They were kicking up dirt as they hit the ground. Got a lump in his throat 'cause he wanted to cry. 1 minute more his crop could die, and under his breath you could hear him pray, hailstorm, hailstorm, go away. Hailstorm, hailstorm, go away. Change your icy hail to rain. If the good Lord is willing and you leave us alone, we can pick pick enough cotton to save our home. But I never saw him cry when he lost a crop, and he never quit. His too broke to stop, but he raised a son who you think would know better. And here I am, 20 years later. I don't own a tractor, got a company car, a mortgage so big I could have bought my own farm. My boss just said, son, it's your last day. Clean out your desk and get the hell out of the way. But I remember how it was on that Texas farm, and I ain't quitting 'cause of one damn storm. Hailstorm, hailstorm, go away. Change your icy hell to rain. If the good Lord is willing, then you leave us alone. We can pick enough cotton to save our home. Hailstorm, hailstorm, go away. Change your icy hell to rain. If the good Lord is willing and you leave us alone, we can pick enough cotton to save our home. Hailstorm, hailstorm, go away. Change your icy hell to rain. If the good Lord is willing and you leave us alone, we can pick enough cotton to save our home. Hailstorm right there.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Hailstorm.
Your guitar tone's great. You're running it through the Focusrite, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Sounds
Yes, I
good.
am. Mhm.
And
It's a
now,
great song too.
No, that's a great song, man. That's
Well,
the
a lot of truth in it.
randomness of weather and reality. Yeah.
Oh,
you could
Well,
always
hailstorm.
count on it to rain in Grayson County the first week of June when the wheat harvest was. It'd run your crop. Even if it didn't hail, it'd get the field so muddy you couldn't pull your combine across it. Anyway, and now Ace, it's up to you to bring us to the halfway point.
All right. Well, this is a song that Harry likes. That's the way I'll start with that. And now my status in this song is a matter of some dispute. There's a question whether I was a legitimate farmhand or merely a hippie at a commune. I think the answer lies in between. But in any case, I lived in Dora, Missouri, and the main store, well, the only store, was Roy's Almost Everything store, and so I wrote a song for that. And I always did it as bluegrass, but that was when I was more of a bluegrass guitar player, and I'm less of a bluegrass guitar player and more of a kind of a, well, I think this is a polka, so. Well, he's got almost everything. He's got almost everything. Get yourself down to Roy's store in Dora. He's got almost everything. Well, Roy's is a special place. Paul would greet you with a smile on his face. He's got so much that you want all the time. Make sure you save some room for a piece of pie, 'cause he's got almost everything. Almost everything. Get yourself down to Roy's store in Dora. He's got almost everything. If you want some overalls or some paint and plaster for your wall, or if you need to feed your goat, or get your wife a brand new coat, well, he's got almost everything. He's got almost everything. Get yourself down to Roy's store in Dora. He's got almost everything. Well, come on, son. Get yourself down to Roy's store in Dora. If he hasn't got it there, you know he's got it on order. He's got almost everything. He's got almost everything. Well, get yourself down to Roy's store in Dora. They've got almost everything.
Hey, can I make a comment?
Yeah.
I love that song, but my mother grew up in Roy City, and she had an uncle, and his name was Roy, and he had a store right down the middle of town. It's called the Cookstons, I think it was. Her last name was Cookston. I think it's still there. At least the name is. I'd have to go up there and see, but it was a store kind of like that.
Cool. Well, I know, as a matter of fact, by looking at Google, that Roy's store still exists, and I am, in fact, going to send him that song just for their entertainment.
Where is it located?
It's in Dora, which the closest place to it is West Plains, famous for the birthplace of Porter Wagner, but it's in that sort of western part of Missouri, not far away from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Actually, not far away from Silver Dollar City. No, south of that.
My great granddaddy on my daddy's side is buried there at Pure City.
Oh, cool.
Near there.
Yeah, wonderful part of the country.
Yeah, that's where you were a hippie, right? You were in the commune over there. Yeah.
That's
Actually,
Chris
wouldn't you be
Albert stopping Grams.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Springfield was right near. That's where I bought my first car. Was in Springfield. That's right.
You're a hillbilly then.
Yeah, I was a legitimate hillbilly.
All
Chris
right.
had a store, though, that was like between Springfield and Branson. I don't
Yeah.
remember the name of the little town, but it's like the crook in the road. And there
Well,
was a little town right there. I can't remember
That sounds
and
like
he had
Royce. That's
a-
Pierce City. That's about where Pierce City is.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that.
Wasn't Pierce City?
Could have been Roy's. It could have been Dora. That's about halfway
Dora.
between.
I can't remember.
Oh yeah, you would have known if you were in Dora, by the metropolis. That was.
This was like there was just a building or two right there on the corner, and Chris had a venue there. Ran a club for quite a few years there.
Cool.
Come full circle here for the second time. This is my song for when you're really not sure how to respond to somebody. An old friend of mine named Pete said, "Why don't you come over to eat? We'll have roasting taters and some fried green tomatoes. There's someone we'd like you to meet. You'll find her to be warm and vital. She never proved that she was homicidal. Now she's off of probation, got a standing ovation at her musical saw recital. You see, I'm having my goldfish declawed, and my toaster's coming back from abroad. Gotta find a new mate for my slug. Sure need to rewind my rug. Gotta get some new cleats for my bed. And I just heard Abe Lincoln is dead. Maybe next time, old matey, my regards to the lady. It's not that I think that she's flawed, I'm just having my goldfish declawed. Another friend of mine named Ray got evicted for failure to pay. Said, I'm moving tomorrow, do you think I could borrow your truck, and could you help me all day? My stuff's thrown out on the veranda, and I need help to lift the piano. Well, it's not all that heavy, it won't fit in my Chevy. Could you drive me to South Louisiana? Sorry, Ray. You see, I'm having my goldfish declawed, and my toaster's coming back from abroad. Gotta find a new mate for my slug, and I sure need to rewind my rug. Gotta get some new cleats for my bed. It's a shame that Abe Lincoln is dead, and some old misdemeanors got lost at the cleaners. Your future success I'll applaud, but now I'm having my goldfish declawed. Then a stranger called me up, name of Destin, an opportunity that I should invest in. It's really great news, and you surely can't lose. I'm speaking tonight at the Westin. You can't believe this deal's renowned, and I ain't asking for that much money down. But you'll find that it's best if more you invest. Guaranteed it's the best deal in town. Well, sorry, Destin. You see, I'm having my goldfish declawed, and my toaster's coming back from abroad. Gotta find a new mate for my slug, and I sure need to rewind my rug. Gotta get some new cleats for my bed. I can't believe that Abe Lincoln is dead. Now my checkbook's in hock at the place down the block. Not saying that you're trying to defraud, I'm just having my goldfish declawed. Tomorrow I'm having my goldfish declawed.
Keith, when you looked soulfully into the piano the first time you did the chorus, you know, hook line, it was so funny.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. And now we are back to Barbara.
I forgot I was next. I was just laying back listening. Oh, okay. Lost in the smell of the ocean for hours while you're planning your day as you're taking your shower. When I dive into my day rushing to give it my all, you're pacing yourself and catching my fall. Like opposite moons, we're opposite moons. We see the world through two different views. To get the picture, I depend on you, my opposite moon. You make my dreams come true. Night after night, at dinner I chatter, but the gaze in your eyes shows me none of it matters. There's so many things that are important to me. You help me with my priorities. 'Cause we're opposite moons, opposite moons. We see the world through two dreams come true. I'm independent, yet dependent on your love. You're strong and confident that I can be sure of. Through the years, you built the life of my dreams. Opposite moons, we're opposite moons. We see the world through two different views. To get the picture, I depend on you, my opposite moon. You make my dreams come true. You've lassoed the moon and made my dreams come true. Thank you.
I love that song. Love that song. Right, and next we have Bill Martin.
Well, last time I played it and I strummed it. This week I'm going to finger pick it. Somehow I knew it was wrong, but Lord God, I tried and I failed. It's bringing me down. We didn't last very long. Our feelings were strong and unveiled. It's bringing me down. Lovers lost in time. Where's my lady? Was she ever mine? But she didn't know, and neither did I. Cuervo, gold, salt and lime. Thoughts unfolded as if by design. So where did it go? And who, what, or why? She didn't know, and neither did I. Lovers lost in time. Where's my lady? Was she ever mine? But she didn't know, and neither did I. We didn't know.
Beautiful.
That's so
Thank you.
pretty.
That is.
Thank you.
That is.
But I'm gonna ruin the spell with this next song.
Oh,
No,
you're just
that's
going to take us
But
in a
Yeah,
further
another-
direction.
I'm taking you in a different direction. But I said my mother grew up in Royce City. Well, it's probably mid to late 1920s. The boll weevil and the Depression drove a lot of people out to West Texas. That's how it got populated. And her family, they all moved out about 30 miles west of Lubbock, near a little town called Levelland. James McMurtry has that song called Levelland. It's a popular song. It's named after that same town. Well, I used to go up there and go swimming and stuff like that when I was a kid. But then everybody started dying off, and finally my granddad, he was kind of one of the last ones of the family left up there. He's living in this little frame house, and I guess it's one of the first people I knew that ever got a cable TV. Somehow maybe they were experimenting or something, but they gave people out in Levelland cable TVs, and my dad and I went up to see him there one day. I think maybe I was in college already. And Granddaddy was sitting there in his easy chair, and he had a TV about 10 feet in front of him. He's just sitting there watching it. And Daddy asked me, he said, Harry, I said, that's what they come and say. I said, how do you like that cable TV? And he grinned. He said, Harry, he said, it's wonderful. He said, I get gun smoke 3 times a day. And he was happy. Well, anyway, when I first decided I was going to try to write songs, I think one of the first songs I ever wrote was this song. It's called, I think I was thinking about him whenever I wrote the song. He didn't do all these crazy things, but that kind of gave me the idea. It's called Old Folks Need Loving Too. Miss Kitty poured Matt a cold one. My grandpa started to grin. Mom said, Daddy, I know what you're thinking. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Miss Kitty belongs to Matt Dillon. Besides, aren't you too old for girls? But from his expression, she never had his attention. He was lost in his fantasy world. 'Cause old folks need loving too. Old folks need loving too. They're no different from me and you. Old folks need loving too. Then one day my dad came home laughing. It was something my grandpa had done. Dad mentioned the name Widow Griffin. How in spring the sap still runs. Dad knocked, but nobody answered. So he walked on through the door, and what they were doing, he's still not saying, but Grandpa was begging for more. Yeah, the old folks need loving too. Old folks need loving too. They're no different from me and you. Old folks need loving too. When I get so old and wrinkled, all the young folks say I'm done. I hope I'm like my grandpa, doing more than dreaming about love. 'Cause old folks need loving too. Old folks need loving too. They're no different from me and you. Old folks need loving too. Old folks need loving too. Old folks need loving too. They're no different from me and you. Old folks need loving too. Old folks need loving too.
That needs to be the Boomer national anthem.
Boomer.
Yeah. How old were you when you wrote that, Harry?
Oh, I was a grown man. I was probably in my 40s.
Oh yeah, but now you see it in a different way. I mean,
Probably do, but I can still picture him sitting there watching Gunsmoke. I mean, I've got some other stories about him. I can't even tell. he was a funny guy. Ott. His name was Arthur, but everybody called him Ott. You ever know anyone named Ott?
no.
It was his brother that had the store in Royce City. I was telling you about. There's a big family, a bunch of boys.
All right.
But anyway, that's how that song came from.
Craft was really good at 40, and your delivery tonight was really good.
Well, I think I sang the whole song. It seemed like I left something out, but we'll see.
We would never know.
Yeah,
I'll go back and listen to it. Yeah,
now
that's right.
Now
No
that
one-
he's
no one-
41.
No one would ever know because I wrote it. I could have changed the writing right then.
That's
right
right.
then.
You know, it's a whole artistic
Yeah,
thing, really.
yeah, it's artistic. Yeah,
It's your artistic vision, which varies from
yeah.
time
It
to
changes from
time.
song to song.
Depends on your diet and amount of exercise.
Picasso, Hewlett, all the names that we've
Yeah.
come to appreciate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, and now,
Next.
Mr. A.
All right, I'm going to do this one. I was invited to do a few songs this Saturday, and I realized I really need to practice this one up a bit. You know, sometimes you write songs that are more complicated than you remember when you go back to them, and this is one of those. So, but this is called "What's So Wrong with Being Sentimental." What's so wrong with being sentimental? What's so wrong with humming soft and sweet? Why not let emotions elemental bubble up and sweep you off your feet? What's so wrong with being sentimental? What's so wrong with leading with your heart? Isn't love the deepest fundamental? The atomic force that won't let us drift apart. I understand the inevitable objections. We all live in such unsentimental times, where crass and coarse brutalities and fashion, and all that counts is the gloating of the bottom line. But what's so wrong with trying to find an almost forgotten state of mind? What's so wrong with being sentimental? Why not sing the joy of emotional ties? What's so wrong with being sentimental? Nothing's wrong with the love I see in your eyes.
Very
Little sentimental song.
Well, we're getting kind of sappy tonight, aren't we?
We are.
Oh.
Somebody do something silly.
well. Actually, I'm about to do one that's kind of sappy too. So
Oh, really? I was getting ready to say, no problem with that. Keith's got plenty of funny songs.
yeah, this one's actually kind of sappy.
Let's keep the mood.
It's actually sentimental to me. So while I was visiting San Antonio pre-COVID and thinking about my late wife, so listening to mariachis outside O'Connor's pub, iced tea, fish and chips with mushy peas for grub, a combination solely found in this Texas hub, only in San Antonio. In the fall of 1990, we first came here as a pair to see the Alamo, the Riverwalk, the Hemisphere, walking hand in hand, loving memories we'd share, just for us in San Antonio. Now there'd be an instrumental here someday when I can actually insert an instrumental and keep the rhythm going at the same time. But instead, I'm just going straight to the bridge. We've returned many times with our family in tow. It grew on us more through the years, but none of us can live forever, I know, and your loss still brings me to tears. San Antonio's always a good idea, that's what we'd always say. Now I sit here on my own, remembering the day that we'd come here together to rejuvenate and play together in San Antonio. I'm missing you in San Antonio. Deep within my heart, there's a melody.
Song of old San Antone.
Oh, San
Oh, taking me
Antone.
on.
You know,
Oh,
there used to be like a recording industry down there, you know, in San
Yeah.
Antonio. You could send songs down there to somebody. They were always looking for stuff.
well, anyway, continuing on, here's Barbara.
I want to do an instrumental.
That was really pretty. I'm glad you sang. You said it was an instrumental, but I'm glad you sang.
That's all the words it has, so I call it an instrumental.
Well, you know, there's a scam for you. You know, you could, if I could get signed on at some publishing company as an instrumental lyricist. I've got to start pounding the pavement. Somebody's bound to fall for that.
Sounds good to me.
And next we have Bill Martin.
Yeah, who's at a loss for what am I going to play? I guess I'll do Bear Creek. This was for the longest time called High School Idea, which I wrote on piano in high school. But then I named it after my high school, named Bear Creek. It's an instrumental.
Oh, you got that delay pedal working really well there.
It's really cool the way it's working like that, isn't it? Yeah, and I'm doing it. That's pretty good.
All right. Now we'll move on to Harry and his harmonics.
Bill, did you play an instrument in high school band?
No, actually, I didn't.
You should have.
I didn't know how to read. I wasn't sophisticated enough.
Well, they teach you to do that.
I know. I started on piano lessons early in life and lasted for a few weeks, I imagine. And then I started on trumpet, and I didn't last very long at all. And then when the Beatles came out, so I started on the piano and fizzled out, and then the Beatles came out, and I began wanting to get the guitar, and the trumpet only lasted a brief period of time, but the guitar started Christmas of, I guess, right after the Beatles came out.
My daughter came to me in tears after a piano lesson one day, and she confessed to me. She says, "Dad, I can't read the music. I have to get Mrs. Matthews to play it for me. Then I can play it." I said, "Kid, you're just like your dad. You can't read music either."
They started teaching us in the 5th grade, so by the time we got in the 7th grade, we could march in the high school band at football games. And I wanted to play the trombone so bad, and I was too far back in line, and they gave me a baritone. so I carried baritone home. I loved it. It's fun. Anyway.
At least you read.
Yeah, but I tell you what, they taught me to read bass clef. And my sophomore year, I was first chair baritone in the all regional band out there in West Texas. And the next year, my junior year, they gave us certain pages to read, all these 16th note scales and everything. And I learned those pages backwards and forwards. I could play them. But because I read bass clef, the music fell differently on the pages. And by the time it got into the pages where I was supposed to read, half of one song of 16th and 32nd notes and all that crap was on the other side of the page. And when I got down to the bottom of the page, that first page, they said, well, finish the song. I said, what do you mean? They said, well, you haven't finished the piece. And I said, well, I did the pages y'all told me to. I said, it doesn't matter. You got to do it. So I had to turn the page over and sight read all those scales, which I did a pretty good job, but I was runner up for the area band. I wanted to go to state, but then my senior year, I got interested in the guitar, and I didn't play the baritone anymore. Girls don't like baritone players. In case anyone's ever noticed. Do 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 do. I'm gonna do that over again because I'm gonna get it right once at least. Do 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 do. Where's it go? Do, 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 do. There we go. Do, 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 do. I always hoped she would grow up to be a lady. As I watched her making mud pies in the yard, I couldn't help but laugh the day she started high school. She wouldn't ride with her parents in the car, but she's had me on a string since I first saw her. There wasn't any question from the start. She was a precious little angel sent from heaven, whose mission was to steal her daddy's heart. And tomorrow she'll be going off to college, where some lucky fellow's bound to come along, and his heart won't stand a chance no more than mine did. The first time I held her in my arms, 'cause today she is a beautiful young lady. I've never seen such elegance and charm, and I'll cherish all these memories that she gave me, like watching her making mud pies in the yard. I can see her, she's making mud pies in the yard.
Yeah, that was great. I don't think I've heard you do that. If you have, I don't remember. That was really good.
I just wrote it on the way to the show this afternoon. Did.
Yeah, they really do come that easy, don't they?
I stopped at a red light and I had that idea.
Yeah, I just wrote it all down in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
There's stories about John Prine actually doing stuff like that.
Holy cow.
Didn't he write like 4 songs on his way to an audition?
Yeah, it's insane.
It's just incredible. Anyway, to close out our evening, here's Ace Pounder.
I'm just going to do a little waltz here for you. Actually, I wrote this after a conversation. Bobby was talking about Texas waltzes, and I've always been fond of Texas waltzes, and I thought, well, I'll write one. It's called Just Another Waltz for Texas. Just another waltz for Texas. Just another twirl around the floor. Just another waltz for Texas. You know there's always time for one more. The click of the heels scrapes the polished wood floors as bright sweeping skirts catch the eye. Our hearts fill the room with a crescendo of love that drifts across the broad Texas sky. We'll keep our heads up as we move to the music and gaze into each other's eyes. Just another waltz for Texas. Just another twirl around the floor. Just another waltz for Texas. You know there's always time for one more. Keep our heads up as we move to the music, as we gaze into each other's eyes, where the rhythm of the music seems to sweep up your heart, and the sweet harmonies sweep and fall. Let's extend this night just a little bit longer. Another waltz around Texas, y'all. Just another waltz for Texas. Just another twirl around the floor. Just another waltz for Texas. You know there's always time for one more. You know there's always time for one more. Waltz for Texas.
You like
Very
Texas
nice.
too, don't you?
Oh,
Good song.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagining Ernest Tubb singing that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the first places I walked into in Nashville was the Ernest Tubbs record shop.
Ooh.
I walked in and loudly said, "Is this the place of the man who sang Waltz Across Texas?" And they said, "Sir, you are in the right place."
All right. Well, that we're done a little early. Does anybody else have a song they want to do this evening?
How about Barb? I bet she could eat it for us.
Is it time to end it? We got 8 minutes.
Got 8 minutes. I don't think we can make a full round, but we can get a couple. I was just
4
wondering if we had
2-minute
any
songs.
volunteers.
Well, whose turn is it?
Well, it's mine.
Well, sing one, Keith.
Do an
Okay.
8-minute song.
Just keep going until we end.
Okay, we'll keep on going then. All right. Well, here's one that's looks like it's going to have a sad ending, but it turns out all right. So this was my attempt to channel Bob Dylan, and but I just couldn't have it end in some strange manner. I had to tie it together at the end. You know how I am. Sandy Bernard, he is a backyard bard who slips in the verse when times get hard. He's gotta make amends with those he offends, 'cause his rapier words say just what he intends to do. Well, he had him a wife, was always causing strife, bound to end up in prison for the rest of her life. She had more than one name, her favorite was Jane. She cried all the time, she was going insane. Who? Now I once knew them both and they scared me so. I looked for them in the alleys everywhere I'd go. Now, well, Jane went wild, went to Sandy and smiled, said, guess what, lover, gonna have us a child. Well, Sandy got mad, didn't want to be a dad. Gonna leave you, woman, that's all that he had to say. So Sandy went to town, gonna mess around, but Jane found out. She went and tracked him down. She pulled out a gun, said, I'm ending your fun. You're gonna end up in hell. You'll never see your son away. Now I saw her pull the trigger and I watched him fall. Well, the cops grabbed Jane and they threw her up against the wall. They took Sandy to the dock, he was just down the block. Took a slug from his shoulder while Sandy took stock of his own careless ways and the way he spent his days. The way he treated Jane left him hanging in a haze of guilt. They took Jane to jail, but Sandy paid her bail. Only got probation 'cause the prosecutor failed. Much to his surprise, the jury realized that they were both victims of the way their lives were built. Now I heard Sandy say, she's my heart's delight. Now Sandy and Jane stay at home with their son every night. Yeah, they turned out all right. They turned out all right. Turned out all right now. All right. All right.
That kind of sounded like something kind of Bob Dylan-ish.
Well, you know, I
like that positive ending.
Yeah, I couldn't just go Dylan-esque there at the end, but I was trying to do Bob Dylan here. I was wrestling with some stomach trouble and listening to Subterranean Homesick Blues, and I thought to myself, hey, I can do Dylan. Yeah, right. But anyway, I think I came close. So anyway, we're now up to Barbie.
All right, I'm going to do this song from the musical Give Me a Break. If I could only reach for you, I'd reach for you when I'm alone. You'd feel the touch I'd have to give to you would make you feel like you've come home. But I only seem to stumble, get into trouble when I say what's on my mind, and I'm far behind in showing how much I love. If I could only smile at you the way I smile when my eyes recall your face, you'd feel the warmth I'd have to give to you that puts the sunshine in second place. Although we are still strangers, you're in no danger. I feel I've loved you all my life, and you know it's right if I can prove my love.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
That sounds like a hit song, you know. That sounds like something that someone would really love to do.
It doesn't have a chorus.
So
It don't
it
matter.
still works.
It's two
Doesn't
verses.
have to have one.
That doesn't matter.
Anyway, we're now ready for Bill.
Very quickly. You've got something to live for. Guaranteed love and a good life in store. I've got nothing to live for without the love from the girl I adore. Am I lying? Is this true? Can you tell how I feel for you? Bloodshot eyes can't hide the way I feel. Mindless beaches can't reveal what I would like to say to you. Things I could give to you and only you. I love you and only you. I love you.
All right.
All right, we're on a roll with love songs.
World.
You got a quick love song for us, Harry? Oh, and by the way, while he's getting ready, everybody, Love and War. Don't forget Love and War tomorrow
All
night.
right.
Open mic. Tell them, Keith.
Love and War in Texas. At the corner
Plano.
of US 75 and Plano Parkway. Please be there.
The Dallas Songwriters Open mic. Just come up and tell Ricky Jean Wright that you want to play, and we'll work you in on the stage.
Bring your own microphone.
We'll knock someone off their chair and put you up there.
Yeah.
If you think you're ever gonna want me, if you think you're ever gonna need me, if you think you'll ever think about me, if you think you'll ever wanna make love to me, if you think you're ever gonna miss me, if you think you're working in without me, if you think you're gonna love me now. Love me now. Love me now. Love me now. My mind said, we'll never have her. My heart said, but I can wait forever. And I said, we're gonna give her one last chance. If you think you're ever gonna want me, if you think you're ever gonna need me, if you think you'll ever think about me, if you think you'll ever wanna make love to me, if you think you're ever gonna miss me, if you think you're working in without me, if you think you're gonna love me now. Love me now. Love me now. Love me now. said, we'll never have her. My heart said, but I can wait forever. And I said, we're gonna give her one last chance. If you think you're ever gonna want me, if you think you're ever gonna need me, if you think you'll ever think about me, if you think you'll ever wanna make love to me, if you think you're ever gonna miss me, if you think your world could end without me, if you think you're gonna love me now. 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 Love me now.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So, I want to remind everybody we have a virtual virtual showcase. We're an award show on Saturday from noon to 2, and we'll be awarding the best song of the year and the songwriter of the year for Dallas Songwriters Association. So tune in on Facebook and check us out. And Ace, take us home.
All
Yeah,
right,
you got another love song for us?
I do.
All right.
This is called American Beauty Rose, and I'll save you the no doubt brilliant but somewhat indulgent solo that I would make up at the time, because dogs are already circling me. So. I wake by you when the sun comes up. You're the first light I see in its glow. You sigh and stir as you leave your dreams. I softly brush your hair. Your fragrance fills the air. You're my American beauty rose. You're from Brooklyn soil and you win first prize. I love how your leaves move around. Soft American curves shape your graceful stalk. Your scent sends my mind to the clouds. The little prince warned about roses, and I know how roses can be. They can lift up their little rose noses and banish my sadness from me. You are an American beauty, loving and elegant, graceful and free. I want to gently peel your petals, feeling them nestling at your feet. The little prince warned about roses, and I know how roses can be. They can lift up their little rose noses and banish my sadness from me. You are an American beauty, silly and elegant, loving and sweet. I want to gently peel your petals, feeling them nestling at your feet. I wake by you when the sun comes up. You're the first light I see in its glow. I lean over to touch you in the morning light. I smile at your innocent pose. I kiss just the tip of your nose. You're my American Beauty rose.
Oh, beautiful.
Can I tell you a story before we go?
Go right ahead.
I worked in Manhattan, and I lived in Brooklyn for a while. This song reminded me of it. And my best friend, my buddy, he lived in Queens. He was at a bar one night in Manhattan, and he fell in love with a girl from the Bronx. And I think that's like almost 50 years ago. And I think they would have got married if the commute hadn't been so bad. It was like two
Then they
subways.
moved to Staten Island, right?
two subways and a taxi cab just to get to each other. But I was talking to him on the phone here a few weeks back, and I said, "Do you still remember Carol, that girl you met?" He said, "Oh yeah." I said, "We talk all the time." So she married and had a family and all that kind of stuff, and he didn't ever got married, but he lives in Kansas City. But they're still friends. But it's two subways and a taxi cab. I thought, man, that dating in Manhattan's not what it's built up to be. That's all I had to say. That's so funny.
I like
Truly.
But that
truly,
song, I thought about that.
Truly.
Well, we've had another successful evening here, folks.
Thanks to Barb.
Thanks to
Thanks
Barb.
to Barb.
Thanks to
Really
Barb. Hey,
appreciate
Barb.
that. And
She's got the best background I've ever seen on that green screen. It looks so real.
Well, it is. That's all my instruments back there.
And you play every one of them, I know.
I do. I play every one of them.
Constantly, yeah. All right, I gotta go take care of dogs.
okay. Well, it's
Okay.
time for everybody to
Stop
push
that live
little red
stream.
button.
Goodbye, everybody.